CEO loses memory, only forgets me. I counter by signing divorce papers. Guyan was involved in a multi-car pileup on a business trip. Thankfully, his life wasn't in danger, but he sustained a mild concussion accompanied by retrograde amnesia. The drama reached its peak when it turned out he remembered his parents, his brothers, all the company executives, and even billion-dollar project contracts. He remembered everyone around him except for me. He forgot his legal wife, whom he had pursued obsessively, married through unscrupulous means, and doted on like the apple of his eye. In the private VIP hospital room, the scent of antiseptic mingled with a faint, cold cedar fragrance, Guyan's signature scent, propped against the headboard with soft pillows. Even in a loose hospital gown and with a sickly pallor, he couldn't suppress his innate air of nobility. His tall, slender frame was outlined beneath the fabric, hinting at defined musculature radiating a cold aloofra. His features were sharp and chiseled, his jawline taut and distinct, his sword-like eyebrows arched into his temples, and his deep, dark eyes were long and profound, covered with a layer of thin, icy disdain. His gaze was oppressive, his presence overwhelmingly powerful. His high nose bridge was sharply defined, his lips pale and his lip line tense. He was the epitome of a dominant, indifferent elite face that could topple kingdoms. Honestly, one of the main reasons I compromised and married him back then was because of this flawless face. Yet, this cold, abstinent, looking man had pursued me with obsessive, clingy, and even clumsy bumbling methods. He was forceful yet awkward, insisting on heaping the best of everything in the world at my feet. His persistence left me no room for refusal, and he eventually forced a marriage alliance to bind me firmly to his side. Now, after losing his memory, he had reverted to being an unfeeling iceberg CEO, terse, cold, distant, treating me no differently from a stranger. Wearing large dark sunglasses that hid all emotion, and with a playful smirk hidden behind my mask, I sat in the companion chair, maintaining a safe distance of 1 meter. My tone was calm and unruffled. "You really want a divorce?" Guyan lifted his eyes to glance at me, his gaze distant and alien, devoid of warmth. He responded crisply, "Yes." "Any regrets?" I asked one more time, purely out of kindness, giving him one last chance to backtrack. "No regrets," he replied with certainty, without the slightest hesitation. He lowered his head to flip through confidential documents he had brought with him. His long, bony fingers moved efficiently, and he couldn't be bothered to glance at me again. Reaching a pinnacle of coldness, I raised an eyebrow, feeling speechless even behind my sunglasses. "Fine. Very good. Post-amnesia, HES stuff and heartless?" I patiently reminded him. "What about Assistant Jin? What if you've forgotten something important? Rushing into a divorce could cause a lot of trouble." Guyan didn't even lift his head. His tone hardened, dominant. "My private affairs are not for others to interfere with." I sneered internally. Good advice goes unheeded by the dying. "Guyan, I hope you never remember me in this lifetime. Never recover your memory. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Don't say I didn't leave you any leeway. You are the one who pushed me away with your own hands." I stopped wasting my breath and said bluntly, "All right. When do we go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to process the divorce?" Hearing this, Guyan finally stopped flipping through the files. He lifted his eyes to scan me, a flicker of barely perceptible surprise in his gaze, as if he hadn't expected me to agree so readily. Without any fuss or crying, he pondered for 2 seconds before saying coldly, "I'll have Assistant Jin draft the divorce agreement first. Once you've reviewed it, signed it, and confirmed there are no issues, well, book an appointment at the bureau." "Fine. Just have Assistant Jin contact me directly once it's drafted. No need for you to trouble yourself." With that, I stood up briskly, grabbed my luxury handbag from the table, and turned to leave. My steps were light, without a trace of reluctance. The ward door closed softly, cutting off the view. Inside, only the monotonous sound of pages turning remained. The silence oppressive. A few minutes later, Assistant Jin burst in, sweat pouring down his face, lugging various hospital supplies and high-sen supplements. He had received my call, learned of Gu Yan's accident, and immediately dropped all urgent $1 billion projects to rush to his side. Assistant Jin panted heavily as he pushed the door open, instinctively scanning the room. Mr. Gu, how is your body? Are you feeling any discomfort? Is your injury serious? And madam, is it madam here keeping you company? She just left, Gu Yan replied flatly, his expression unchanged. Assistant Jin froze on the spot, pupils shrinking, his face full of disbelief. His voice caught in his throat. Left? His heart instantly panicked, filled with question marks. Usually, even if Gu Yan just had a slight cold, the madam would stay by his side without leaving an inch. Why did she come today only to leave without another word? It was too abnormal. Sensing the shock in his tone, Gu Yan frowned coldly and countered, "Are you surprised?" No, absolutely not." Assistant Jin snapped back to his senses, hurriedly lowering his head and waving his hands, not daring to say another word. He quickly changed the subject. "I was just worried about your health. Why couldn't I get through to your phone? Is it broken? Has the concussion worsened? Should I arrange for experts to do another check -up? Phone is broken. Mild concussion. No major issues," Gu Yan summarized concisely. "I'll arrange for someone to repair the phone immediately and contact top experts for a follow -up. Assistant Jin instinctively pulled out his phone to dial. "No need to repair it," Gu Yan stopped him coldly, his tone casual yet indifferent. "Just send a brand new top spec phone over. Throw the old one away, it's an eyesore." Assistant Jin's hand froze mid-air, petrified on the spot. "Oh no, Mr. Gu hasn't just had a mild concussion, he's lost his mind." In the past, Gu Yan treated his personal phone like it was more important than a $1 billion contract he'd fret for ages over a tiny scratch on the corner. Now, he was tossing it away like trash. It was utterly ridiculous. Before he could recover, Gu Yan wrapped another bombshell also. "Draft a divorce agreement." Assistant Jin's head buzzed. One hand was still clutching Gu Yan's broken phone, the other about to type a work message, when he blurted out short th. 2 seconds later, he looked up sharply, eyes wide, his face full of disbelief, his voice trembling. Divorce agreement? For whom? "Mr. Gu, what did you say?" Gu Yan's brow furrowed deeply, impatience radiating from him as his aura turned icy. "Who else do I work for besides myself? Don't ask unnecessary questions, just do it." "Why yes? Yes." "Mr. Gu." Assistant Jin was intimidated by the low pressure, not daring to ask further or explain. Only screaming internally and praying I would reply 2 messages soon to salvage this bizarre situation. "Stop the nonsense. Organize all the backlog of remote work and send it to me for online approval," Gu Yan said, pressing a hand to his throbbing temple. He felt an inexplicable hollowness in his heart, as if he had lost something incredibly important and indispensable, leaving him restless and irritable, yet unable to recall what he had forgotten. "Understood, Mr. Gu. I'll arrange it immediately." "Excuse me." Assistant Jin fled the ward as if escaping, wiping cold sweat from his forehead, feeling a chill down his spine. Too strange. Everything was too abnormal. In the past, Mr. Gu had pampered his wife to the heavens, afraid of dropping her, afraid of melting her in his mouth. To chase her, he had lowered his status and used every obsessive trick in the book, desperate to lay the world at her feet. Now, after just a minor car accident and memory loss, he was insisting on a divorce without another word. It was simply baffling. Assistant Jin hurried out of the hospital, picking out a new top spec phone while firing off private messages to me to investigate the situation, his heart in a panic. I returned to the spacious, tidy villa. I tossed my bag onto the entryway cabinet and picked up my phone, immediately seeing Assistant Jin's barrage of messages. "Assistant Jin, Mr. Gu initiated the divorce. I couldn't stop him." "Assistant Jin, madame. Did you two have a fight?" Why the sudden divorce? Assistant Jin, is Mr. Gus Brain okay? Genuine question, did the concussion affect his mind? Assistant Jin, are you two really going to get divorced? Is there really no room for reconciliation? My finger swiped lightly across the screen as I replied calmly, no fight. Forgot only me and insists on divorcing. Send the agreement directly when it's ready. After a pause, I added casually, by the way, don't throw away his old phone. Help get it repaired and send it back. No need to waste it. Assistant Jin. Mr. Gu ordered me to replace it with a new one and discard the old one. Looking at the screen, I let out a low chuckle, my eyes devoid of waves. I replied crisply, fine. Let him do as he pleases. In the following days, I lived a completely unrestrained and free life. No one waited for me to come home late at night, no one forced me to keep a schedule, no one clung to me obsessively. I didn't have to accommodate anyone's temper or cater to anyone's preferences. I ate when I wanted, slept when I wanted, idle and comfortable. Extremely pleasant. I simply contacted my agent, Sister Lee, cutting to the chase. Sister Lee, I want a full comeback to the entertainment industry. Commercials, variety shows. Films connect me with everything. I'm free. Sister Lee was one of the few people in the industry who knew about my secret marriage to Gu Yan. She was instantly shocked, her voice message popping up full of doubt. Hey, come back. You finally got Mr. Gu to keep you in a golden cage, free from worry about food or clothing, without having to struggle. How is he suddenly willing to let you show your face in public? Is the sun rising from the west? My tone was flat as I informed her he wants a divorce. I can't just sit and eat through my savings, I have to earn a living. Sister Lee sent 3 question marks in a row, her tone unbelieving. Did you cheat? No, wait. Even if you really did cheat with Mr. Gu's possessive, obsessive nature, there's no way he'd let you go, let alone initiate a divorce. What major event happened? I didn't do anything. He had a car accident and lost his memory, forgot only me, and turned around demanding a divorce. I explained flatly. Sister Lee fell silent for a full 3 seconds before saying sincerely, his brain is definitely broken. No doubt about it. I understood inwardly. No wonder everyone asked if Gu Yan's brain was malfunctioning. After all, everyone in the circle had witnessed how deeply and obsessively Gu Yan loved me heart and soul, desperately binding me to his side. Now, forgetting me post-minus amnesia and insisting on divorce, anyone would find it absurd. Who knows? Let nature take its course. In a few days, after signing the papers, we'll be completely clear of each other, I said indifferently. All right, I won't ask further. If you want to come back, I'll support you fully, Sister Lee stated firmly. I happen to have a top-tier, high-profile romance reality show. The invitations are pouring in. The heat is high, the guest lineup is luxurious, and the traffic boost is guaranteed, perfect for your comeback. Should I lock in the schedule? A glint flashed in my eyes, and a playful smile curved my lips. That's the one. Me up. Anyway, I was about to be single again. Going on a romance show fit my identity perfectly. It allowed me to make a high-profile comeback for my career and thoroughly break from the past in one fell swoop. Meanwhile, inside the VIP ward, Gu Yan finished his work, closed his laptop, and the inexplicable irritation in his heart grew stronger. His temples throbbed, his chest felt strangely tight and hollow, as if a vital piece was missing, making him restless. He couldn't help but replay the scene in the ward, that quiet, cold woman turning to leave. His heart inexplicably resisted the divorce, yet he couldn't recall who she was or what their past entailed. Assistant Jin carefully walked into the ward carrying the drafted divorce agreement, handing it to the bedside, not daring to breathe loudly. Mr. Gu, the agreement is drafted according to your requirements. The terms are clear, the asset division is fair. Please review and sign. Gu Yan lowered his head to look at the black and white divorce papers. The moment his fingertips touched the surface, a sudden, inexplicable sting pierced his heart. A dense, suffocating melancholy washed over him, and he frowned, withdrawing his hand. He spoke in a low voice, a hint of hesitation. He didn't notice himself creeping in. What was her reaction after reading the agreement? Assistant Jinx eyed inwardly and reported truthfully Madam had no objections whatsoever. She just said that once she confirms there are no issues she'll sign it and wait for the offline procedures. The whole process was extremely calm. Gu Yan's brow furrowed deeply, and his heart felt inexplicably tighter and more irritated. Why wasn't she sad? Why didn't she clean her bed? Why was she as calm as an unrelated outsider? A surge of inexplicable frustration, grievance, and irritation welled up in him. Weighing him down, his face turned cold, his voice sinking. Leave it for now. Don't sign it yet. We'll discuss it later. Assistant Jin instantly looked up, a spark of hope igniting in his eyes. There's hope. Mr. Gu definitely still has feelings for Madam. Even without his memory, his instincts are still biased toward her. As for me, I had already finalized the schedule with the variety show team. The hashtag for my comeback was quietly heating up, and the entertainment industry was already buzzing with news of my return. Sitting before my dressing table, looking at my excellent reflection in the mirror, a cold, confident smile curved my lips. Gu Yan, you've forgotten me now and insist on pushing me away. When you recover your memory in the future and recall all the favor and devotion, remembering the cold, heartless face you're showing today by insisting on divorce, by then, even if you kneel and beg for reconciliation, even if you desperately try to win me back, I absolutely will not look back.